Welcome to the Doublemint Cup Series here. We're here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the Canadian road course here. Lily does NASCAR. Qualifying the pole in the 10 NASCAR Doublemint car. You saw the green flag out here. And Richard Johnson trying to gain some advantage here on the outside, but Lily will not give any room. Shoves the 47 out wide a bit there in turn number 1, and she will retake the lead quickly. The 9 car of K-Dude 124 already up to second position. The Jacob Company car trying to hold off a hard-charging Richard Johnson. Johnson not trying to lose that many positions here on lap number 1, because that is going to be one of the more important laps of this race to gain spots here, especially on the restarts here. Down into this down into this actually sharp right-hander here. You'll see a lot of cars drive a bit wide here, and that's when all the passing will happen, and that's when straightaway speed will come into play here. As Lily Does NASCAR is going to get freight trained by that 9 car. The 9 car on a roll. But there's a crash in the back. The 13 and the 33 have crashed in the back. Parker Brown and Donald Trump. Raymond Fisher looks like he got a bit of a piece of that as the caution is out here for the first time today. Racing back down towards the start-finish line here. That 10 car has now lost the lead to the 9. They're going to be bowing out of the last corner here, and Lily drives it off the track and into the tires she goes. So the pole sitter already wrecked on lap number 1 just like that. Lily's chances of the race are done. They're still crashing up here. Kathleen and Parker Brown are continuing to wreck. Caution is out here for the first time today. K-Dude 124 takes the lead from Lily Does NASCAR, as we'll take a look at the replay. Here's what happened. Looks like they just all gathered each other up. Trump and Parker Brown decided just to tangle up on lap number 1. And the 2's going to get a bit of damage here. Just a little nick there. Sideswipe. And they'll keep going. This was on the battle for the lead here. This is how the 10 wrecked. The 9 went on the inside. K-Dude had a huge run on the inside line. Lily tries to do the crossover maneuver here. You notice how inverted the lines are. It looks like they had a bit of contact there. And the 10 just runs it into the tires. And you see a couple cars swerving out of the last corner. They had to save it. And then we'll focus on that wreck back here. So it looks like the 46 slides up into the 13's path, and into the tires they both go. Just like that. We'll take you back to the restart. As you reach lap number 4 here, Ian Dutta stayed out in pit lane. They will lead the restart here. Looks like the top 3 decide to stay out here. The 9 pitted. As with the rest of the field here, down into turn number 1, Alonso looking to the inside, going for second position. Bit of 3 wide action here. Looks like the 20, the 31. Now they contact. There goes the 20. Mark Cavagnaro hard into the tires there. Caution is out. That escalated really quickly, and look what happened to the 9. He's going to lose a lot of positions now. It looks like he has some left side damage to the machine. Not what the 9 car needed at all. Everybody else racing back down toward the line. There you see the 77 Eric Rodriguez. They've had 16 different winners, so he's trying to get win number 2. That's what the 77 team needs, is another win to secure themselves finally in that chase. Ben Gerhardt looks like he has suffered some problems, as well as Donald Trump. We'll look at that after this as they race back down toward the line still. Ian Dutta remains in the race lead coming out of the last corner. Pay attention to where these drivers might make mistakes here. And you'll see one of them, there's the 43 off, and we saw the 5 car wrecking over here, and he's stuck on the wall. Alright, okay, that's one way to get stuck. Matt Dixon is involved, and we'll take, we'll show you replays. So unfortunately we don't have replays of Ben Gerhardt's wreck, but the rewind action here did not work. Doesn't work here at Mosport at all. And the 31 of Eddington and K-Dude tried to squeeze the issue there, and poor Mark Cavagnaro got turned as a result, and you saw his impact on the tires. A very hard lick for the number 20 team. They were running so good early on this race, and it doesn't look like their chances are going to help much today. And here's what happened to Regan Smith, just trying to get, just drive it wide a bit there. And then there was the incident here with the 5 and the 1. We'll look at that in a moment. So here's the 5 and the 1 here, and the 1 turns the 5, and basically a weird NR glitch, typical. And oh wow, in the 17, everybody else just tries to slow down, nowhere to go. Track's blocked basically. And let's go to the green flag. We've reached lap number 6 out of 21, soon to be 7. Keon Eddington has now cycled to your race lead here. The 31 machine obviously causing the controversial 20 instant green flag in the air. And Richard Johnson, no hesitation whatsoever, will dive to the inside here, coming into turn number 1. And a bit of contact there between Emmanuel Hartnett and the 7 of Caitlin Doherty, so they're not going to be happy with each other. Eric Rodriguez and Kyle Keith are battling for a top 10 position. This is for the 8th position, I believe, as the 42 is going to look on the inside here. That's where those runs are going to happen. Richard Johnson remains in second. Really, the top 5 remains pretty settled here as they come down to the tough right-hander. Bit of contact there between the 42 and the 77. The 4 a bit loose out of the corner. Not what they wanted to see, as the 98 is going to look for the 3rd position underneath Alan Cavagnaro. Eddington has 2 wins in his belt, Atlanta and Twin Ring Motegi, as Evans looks and searches and will gain 3rd here, as it looks as if the 11 might do something here. Bit of contact might rough her up. Oh, he does, no doubt. Everybody else, and look at the back of the pack here. We're going to focus on them a bit. Jesse Turner drives it a bit off the corner there. Doesn't hit the tires, luckily, and we will have a lap of green flag here finally. But the top 5 will still stand, but actually with the 98 taking 3rd away. One guy on a mission has been that 42 car. We saw him pass the 77, and he's gone around the 78, so that 42 car of Kyle Keith looks very promising for a good run today. That 42 team has been struggling all season. If you're wondering where Ian Dutta is running in 24th position. Due to pit stops, he is a bit further ways back, so he's trying to get as many chances as he can. As Annabelle Balvin looks like she drove the course way wide there, and people are going to stampede her here, as she will lose a lot of positions due to that. Tim Smith getting hounded on by the 42 there. That 42 car, like I've mentioned earlier, very fast and threatening Eric Rodriguez, looking underneath NASCAR fan here. As he will, the 7 car has a problem. DJ Curtis in the tires, the caution is out. A big stack up here, so the 19 and the 27, as well as the 88, might have something to do with these incidents here. As yeah, it looks like there was a crash. The 78 has blown up here. NASCAR fan has blown up. The 78 machine was, oh, man, what a heartbreak for them. They were running top 10 today, and that looks like it's not going to happen. And I don't know if they're racing. I think they will be racing back here. Keon Eddington, Richard Johnson, and Megan Evans are going to be their top 3, as it looks. Everybody else is basically in a little bit of a single file here, which basically they are right now at this point. But what a heartbreak for the 78. Mechanical troubles strike the 78 team today, and it doesn't look like they will have a good run whatsoever. I think really the top 4, really 4th on back, has slowed down. Everybody else is going to race back, because that's really, I think they crossed the line by the time the caution happens. So Eddington comes out of the last corner, will lead that lap, and Johnson and Evans will follow. So a bit of roughing up early on that restart there. Coy Harley was a victim of that, and Dutta and Schwalmberg both shove him off, and ooh, a heavy hit to the tire barrier goes the 19 Harris machine. That was a hard lick for them, and I think that's what happened to the 88 and the 27. They slammed the pit wall. That's how that occurred. We're gonna rewind here in just a moment, and looks like the 27 was trying to avoid the ruckus here, and yeah, that's really what he was trying to do, and slams into the tires there. And the 88 does the same exact thing. Both those cars are going to be out of the race there, unfortunately for them. DJ Curtis, you saw him slide off the track there at the background, but that's really the reason for a caution. The 7 car missed her pit, so that's why she's stuck there for some odd reason, but I'll focus you back on the leader. Coming back down with the 1 to go signal, we're going to be in lap number 12 here. 29 cars, or actually make that 30 cars remain in the race here. If you're wondering how many cars are out, a lot of cars are out of this race early on. But Hartnett has cycled up to take the lead. Green flag back in the air, the Haas machine will lead us down. Logan Brown, our Mexico City winner from the road course edition, runs in second. Ian Dutta recycles back to third. He had pitted earlier, so he's trying to stay out of trouble basically at this point. Fourth position is the 95, Donald Trump. Actually, no, Mark Sabeka is in the fourth position, excuse me there. Alonso runs in fifth. As everybody else is basically within a train. First car that has pitted is Eddington. He is running in the 7th position at the moment. They're going to have to wait and see if they can get around those guys that had stayed out. So, but they are growling on them. But Hartnett pulls away with a huge lead over the 50 and the 32, the 71, and the rest of the pack. Keon Eddington now looking on the inside of the number 18 of Michael Cavagnaro. This is for the 6th position here. Eddington dive bombs the corner here. We know that 31 car has a beast machine inside, and that 18's not going to give up without a fight here. And coming off the final corner, the 18 will lose a spot. The caution is out, however. We may have had a car in the tires. Yes, we have. The 51 of someone. So H. Scott not having necessarily a good day, except for Ian Dutta, as we'll have an instant replay. And this is the reason we had our caution. Well, Goss dive bombs the corner, had a huge head of steam, and just used that on the 51. The 51, bam, into the tires he goes. I don't know if Will Goss slams the pit wall here. And no, he won't. So that's the reason for our caution. The 51 impales the tires basically, as we'll take you back to the green. Manuel Hartnett still remains in the race lead. They decide to stay out for maybe another round here and hope for another quick yellow here. Green flag back in the air. Logan Brown remains second. Really, that top 5 remains the same. But anything can happen within this moment there. Donald Trump almost turned the 71 there. Mark Sabeka, Richard Johnson, Keon Eddington, and Alonso are all within each other. As here comes Johnson on the inside of Eddington, trying to rain down his parade. They know if they can get ahead of each other, then those guys up there can pit. And that might cycle them back to the race lead and even the winner of the race. But back to Hartnett. A very strong 4 car they've had right now. Sabeka looking to the inside of Ian Dutta. This is for the 3rd position here, as Richard Johnson will advance his spot on Alonso. A perfect opportunity to pass here at Canadian Tire here. As Kyle Keith looks underneath the 18 here. Oh, there's Richard Johnson really on the bumper of the 33. He's a lapped car. He shouldn't really meddle with him, so I don't know what Johnson might do, but back of the pack here looks like it's going to be very settled. Another green flag lap finally down. But a bit of a gaggle of cars here. Eric Rodriguez, Megan Evans, and Michael Cavagnaro. This is for the 9th position, I believe, so actually this might be for 10th. So this is for a top 10 spot. Eric Rodriguez trying to take advantage of the tires used in his machine. The Lenovo machine hasn't really been the best as of lately. He won Rockingham in Britain, so he's trying to get a solid run in. Hartnett, Brown, and Sabeka. Sabeka looks on the inside of the 50. That 71 car has made some aggressive moves, so Mark Sabeka not holding back whatsoever. He's pretty low in points, obviously being a replacement driver. If he can pass Rodriguez and maybe even get another win, he could make the chase. And And Alonso misses his pit, so something wrong. He spins out. The wheel hop game is real, and he is off the track. The 24 looks like he's done the same thing. Cars are slow over the racetrack. Still no caution. I have no idea why there isn't a caution whatsoever. No caution so far as everybody scrambles here. The safety officials said there is no caution. They are still going. What a weird turn of events here. Canadian Tire, the 95, still against the wall. But it's been a 4-car breakaway now. Hartnett, Sebeka, Logan Brown, and Richard Johnson, the first man, with new tires right now. And there's Eric Rodriguez looking underneath Kyle Keith and even Keon Eddington. So the 77 trying to pass two people. 2 birds with 1 stone is for what Eric Rodriguez is looking for. He's going to try and get around that 31. Side by side, down into this is one of the more faster parts of the corner. A bit of contact there, and Rodriguez will end up taking the spot away as Donald Trump and Ian Dutta. And it looks like the 50's done the same thing. A lot of drivers have missed their pit. The leaders have done it too. Richard Johnson will take the lead, but the caution is out, unfortunately, as we have a couple cars stuck on the racetrack. What a weird turn here at Canadian Tire. Lots of cars are missing their pit. They have overshot their stalls, as it seems. As we'll take a look at the replay here of that phenomenon. I believe it was due to the 71. He immediately stopped, and the caution, they just decided to go with the caution out because of that 71 being stuck on the racetrack. And that really turned things around so suddenly. And I don't know what happened to the 25. They might have run each other over while in a braking zone, so we might have to examine that in a bit. Here's what happened to the 95. This didn't bring out the caution somehow, and he wheels hops it, spins it around basically, gets the car going, and the 24 does the exact same thing. They basically stop in the middle of the racetrack. The 95 comes down, the 24 spins around, and I really don't know how this didn't bring out the caution. I will take you back to the green flag. So, weird turn of events. They decided not to go throw the green anymore. It is just too chaotic as at the moment. Richard Johnson took the race lead after the leaders missing their pit stalls. And that, I don't really know what really happened there. Richard Johnson, this is the last lap, by the way, as there they come down in the final few corners here. Richard Johnson winning the Road America race on Christmas time. Hasn't done the best in the chase, but as of the racket that is, but here they come out of the last corner. Richard Johnson will lock his chance in. He will get win number 2 of the season here. Ian Dutta will get second, and Eric Rodriguez will end up short, but he'll get a good 3rd place finish here. Eddington 4th. Kyle Keith gets a good 5th today. That 42 car was very strong today. Hands up for him. Sam Kurtz gets a 6th. Tim Smith 7th. Chuck Petting ran a quiet 8th. Megan Evans 9th, and Alan Cavagnara rounds out your top 10. Here are the results here from 1st through 28th here. A lot of cars actually dropped out of the race due to the attrition right here. Lots of chaos all over the track today. And here is 15th through 42nd here. Wow, lots of cars out of this one. A lot of drivers that wrecked out early on in the race. Unfortunately, just things went sour for them. But otherwise, congratulations on Richard Johnson on his 2nd victory here. He will secure his chance and his spot in the chase for the double.